Hi, I'm Colleen, a licensed marriage and family therapist and trauma-focused clinician. This channel and my project, Trauma Science Academy, exists to give you clear, non-shaming maps for understanding trauma responses and your nervous system. In this video, I want to walk through 3 core nervous system states: ventral, sympathetic, and dorsal, so you can better understand what's happening in your body instead of just feeling like you're too much or not enough. Most people judge themselves at the level of behavior. Why am I so anxious? Why do I shut down? Why can't I just relax? But from a trauma-informed, polyvagal-informed lens, your autonomic nervous system is constantly scanning for safety and danger and shifting states to try to protect you. When we have language for those states, it becomes easier to notice. Oh, this is a state my body is in, instead of this is proof I'm broken. Let's start with ventral vagal, often just called the ventral state. Ventral is the state of safe enough connection inside yourself, with other people, and with the world. In ventral, you might notice your breathing is steady. Your muscles feel relatively relaxed. You can make eye contact without feeling like too much. You can think, feel, and choose all at the same time. Emotionally, ventral doesn't mean you're happy all the time. It means you can feel things and still feel like you basically exist. You have choices, and you're not about to be annihilated. This is the state where healing work, creativity, and connection are easiest. If you've had a lot of trauma, ventral might feel unfamiliar or rare. That doesn't mean you're incapable of it. It just means your system has had fewer chances to practice it. Next is sympathetic, which is our mobilized state, often associated with fight or flight. In sympathetic activation, your system is gearing up to do something about a perceived threat or challenge. You might notice a faster heartbeat, shallow or quick breathing, restlessness, pacing, or feeling like you just can't sit still. Racing thoughts, worst-case scenarios, scanning for danger, irritability, frustration, or feeling like everything is urgent. On the outside, sympathetic can look like anxiety, anger, or defensiveness, overworking or overdoing, not being able to relax, even when nothing is wrong at the moment. From a survival standpoint, sympathetic is your system saying, something might be wrong. I need to move, fix, fight, or get out of here. This state isn't bad. The problem is when trauma, chronic stress, or unsafe environments train your system to live in sympathetic, even when the current situation isn't actually dangerous. The third state is dorsal vagal, often just called dorsal. Dorsal is a state of shutdown, collapse. This usually happens when your system has decided, I can't fight this, and I can't escape it. The safest thing is to go numb, disappear, or just power down. You might notice heavy, exhausted, drained feelings, numbness or emptiness, feeling disconnected from your body or surroundings, brain fog, or feeling far away. Thoughts like, what's the point, or I don't exist. On the outside, dorsal can look like staying in bed, canceling plans, moving slowly, monotone voice, or flat affect. For many people with trauma histories, dorsal gets mislabeled as lazy, unmotivated, or broken. From a nervous system perspective, dorsal is often a protection strategy, your body's way of reducing pain when fight and flight weren't options, especially in long-term or inescapable stress. Dorsal can overlap with depression, but they're not exactly the same thing. A therapist or doctor can help untangle that with you. Most people move up and down a ladder of these states throughout the day. You might start in ventral, get an upsetting email, spike into sympathetic, then feel overwhelmed and drop into dorsal. Or you might spend a lot of your life between sympathetic and dorsal with only brief glimmers of ventral. None of these states are wrong. They're adaptations based on the story your nervous system learned about safety and danger. The goal isn't to never be anxious again or never shut down. The goal is to notice which state you're in, offer your system support instead of shame, and slowly increase your access to ventral, those moments of safe enough connection and choice. Even being able to say, okay, I think I'm in sympathetic right now, is a big step. You've moved from swimming inside the state to having a little bit of perspective on it. If you're working with a therapist, this language can make your sessions more precise. You might say, I think I live in sympathetic most of the time. My body is always braced. I'd like to understand why and find more access to that ventral feeling. Or, when conflict happens, I drop into dorsal. I go blank and can't speak. I want to understand that state and learn how to come back up the ladder more gently. You can also use this in journaling by asking, what state am I in right now? Ventral, sympathetic, dorsal? What might my system be trying to protect me from in this state? Is there something small that helps me feel 5% more connected or grounded? To go along with this, I've created a one-page nervous system states map on my Trauma Science Academy site. It gives a simple overview of ventral, sympathetic, and dorsal in plain language you can bring into therapy. You could bring it into journaling or just keep it on your fridge as a reminder. On the Learn page, you'll also find a one-page guide on what is a trauma response, a two-page mini guide on fawning appeasing, and the Trauma Science Foundation Starter Pack if you want a more structured way to explore these patterns over time. You can find all of that on the Learn page at Trauma Science Academy, and I'll put the link in the description. As always, Trauma Science Academy and this channel are for education and self-reflection only. They're not therapy, they're not a crisis line, and they can't respond in real time if you're actually in danger. If you're in crisis, thinking about harming yourself or in an unsafe situation, please reach out to a local emergency services, a crisis helpline, or a licensed professional in your area. And if this was helpful, feel free to like, subscribe, or share it with someone who needs a less shaming way to understand their nervous system. Take care of your system today. It's been working very hard for a very long time.